Hi, I'm Tim and this is Timberway Designs. In this series of videos, I take 10 common public rocks and I cut them in half. Whether I find them or a viewer sends them to me that they find, we cut them in half, we take a look inside, see what's inside, then I'll take each one of them rocks and I'll make a cabochon out of. And then I have the cabochons from episode 60 that Jim sent me from Australia. I made cabochons out of those, so if you stick around towards the end, you can take a peek at them. And I'd also like to wish a birthday wish to one of my viewers out there, Karen in Coal Valley, Illinois. Thanks for watching my videos. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a good day. So let's turn the camera around here and take a look at these rocks that Amanda from Pennsylvania sent me. So we have a selection of rocks here that Amanda sent me from Pennsylvania, and we're going to take a look at them right here real quick. So we got this one here. Not really sure what any of these rocks are because I don't live in Pennsylvania, but we'll try to make a guess here. We'll dunk it in the pool here. So this one here, it looks like it's got some quartz going there and some stripy stuff, and it's red. We got this one here, looks like a sedimentary rock. It's got kind of a greenish theme going there. And some quartz in the back. That'll be interesting. This one's got some crystal stuff going on there. Get wet quick. Kind of curious if this looks like this color on the inside as it does on the outside. This one here. This one, it looks kind of soft, but it's got these quartz looking pockets in there. You can see all along in there. So I don't know, this one, to me right now I'm looking at it, it's like this one could look like it could be pretty crumbly, but we'll find out. This one here, it's like a, looks like almost like a mignaloidal to me. They have some interesting patterns in there. This one here, I've been looking at this. This looks almost like a chunk of bone to me. Get kind of a granular pattern going there. Interesting. Let's see, this one. Got a little green stuff going on there. Kind of looks similar to this one here, maybe, in coloration anyways. Kind of a bluish green. There's a little red right there. This one here. Interesting. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah, kind of curious on that one. This one here. I got some sedimentation going there. Oh, yeah. Wonder if that's going to cab that stripe right there. We'll see. And this one here, it's got some green quartzy stuff looking going on there. Look at that. I think we're going to see some interesting cuts here. Now, she sent a couple extras. I'm going to cut them because she sent them. I got this little red guy here. Bright red. And this one here looks like it's got a lot of mica in it. Kind of heavy too. And then this one here. I don't know what to say about that. Quartz and something else maybe. So these rocks here are the ones I'm going to cab. If one of these rocks here does not work out, then I'll take one of the three that I just showed you as a backup for here. But I'm hoping I picked out good ones here. So let's gather these up. We'll take them downstairs to the saw and cut them in half and see what's inside. All right, we're down here on my 10-inch high-tech lapidary saw. First thing I want to show you is that these blades are absolutely not sharp. They cut with diamonds, or they grind with diamonds. So I'm rubbing my thumb on it right now, and it don't even cut the glove. So don't worry about me cutting my fingers on this saw blade. And then we're going to touch it up, because I got to expose more diamonds occasionally. And I use an old grinding disc I have. Well, not old, I bought it new, but that's why I'll show you how I do it. So let's start cutting. About 3 times through is plenty. That'll expose enough diamonds to get the job done. All right, first up, this one here, I'm going to split it right down the middle. Okay, episode 61. Let's see what Amanda sent us. Oh, a little fractured there. That thing took a while to push through. That's pretty cool. Now we'll talk about these rocks more upstairs. We're just going to cut them and briefly look at them here. All right, this one here. I think what I want to do is I want to cut this side off. Okay, pattern and color. Oh, look at that. That's cool. This one here. I'm going to go ahead and split this one too. Alright, this one cut really easy, so let's see what we got. Alright, interesting. I'm kind of curious about this one here. Got some colors in it. I'm going to split it just like that. Alright, this one cut pretty easy too. Let's see what we got inside though. Wow. You would never notice that looking at the outside. Wow. 2 wows on that one. Alright, this one here, I am going to split it right down the middle. Okay, what do we got? Okay, interesting. Can't tell. Yeah, it's not pink. Alright. Alright, this one here. I'm gonna cut this end off here because this kind of looks kind of dishy there. We'll get a flat cut here. I think this one's going to look cool on the inside. Okay. What's wrong with that? I'm going to have to come back and make another cut. This is a little skinny right here, but that's okay. I like that. Alright, this one. I think I'm going to split it right down the middle. Well, let's see what we got lurking in this rock. Wow. Kind of cool. Alright, this one here. I'm gonna cut this end off here because then if something isn't right I can cut it this way, but we'll cut this end off. All right, is this cool looking? Okay. Got a couple fractures and all right, we'll figure something out. All right, this one here I've been thinking about, and I was thinking about doing an in cut, but I think I'm going to cut a side off, and then I'll give me enough to do an in cut if I decided to do a different kind of looking cab there. Okay. All right, see what this one looks like. Ooh. Nice pattern. Okay. And this one here, I wanted to cut it like this, but I ain't got a lot of rock to work with, so I'm going to kind of cut it on an angle from this end to that end. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Interesting. All right. Got 3 extra rocks here. We're going to cut these quickly. Oh, we'll do this red one here. I'm just going to cut this side off. Imagine the inside's going to look like the outside. Oh yeah. That's like almost hurts your eyes, orangish reddish. Okay. Cut this little silver guy here. I think I'm going to split it. Alright, I'm thinking this is going to look the same too. Yeah. Okay. This one here, I'm just going to cut this side off. Let's see what we got going in here. Oh. I think he's got some nice patterns in him. We'll think about this. Alright, so I'm going to gather all these rocks. We're going to take them upstairs. We'll take a close look at them. Alright, let's see how we did here. I'm going to run it through the bath, get some of the crumbs off. Alright, this is the one I thought was a little crumbly on the outside, and then it had this quartz stuff running through there. There's the inside. It's got a few fractures, but that orange stuff seems pretty solid there. I don't know if that's feldspar or what the deal is, but that looks kind of interesting. Okay. Got this brown one here. I might make another cut on this. I'm not really, I don't know. I think I can work with that, but there's a nice crack here. That's kind of messed things up. I might cut it. I might cut this side off here, go down and try, because I don't know. I'll think about this one here, but it's got a cool pattern going in there, and I think it's going to shine nicely. I like the reddish color. Yeah. So that's that one there. All right, this one here, I'm not really sure. To me, it looks like a hunk of bone. That's what the inside looked like. Got some color to it. I think I made this thick enough, yeah. So that should make an interesting cab. Yeah. Okay. Hey, this one here, I'm definitely going to have to go back and take another slice off it. It kind of dropped off on this end here, but look at that. I think that's pretty. Nice green. That white seems pretty solid. So I don't think I'm not worried about that. That ought to make a nice patterned cabochon, I'm sure. I got plenty of it left too. And I like the green, the way it kind of goes from dark to light there. Turn this around like that. Isn't that cool? Very interesting. All right, this is this big sparkly one. I went ahead and split it down the middle. So a lot of terrain here I'm going to have to avoid. The inside seems fairly solid. I see a few druzy pockets in there. I don't know. We'll see how this one comes out. It'll probably be something on this side because this side here has a lot of issues. Yeah. Okay. I cut this one here was a very quick cut, and it was relatively soft. It had this red in the inside. I like this red streak running through here, and I don't know if it, we'll see. See, I'm not seeing anything out here. I'm only seeing it right here, but that would make this more interesting if I could get that in a cabochon there. Although it looks like it's got a fracture right there. Yeah, you can see that right there. I don't have to think about this one here. Yeah, that is on a fracture. There's another one here. You look at the outside and you go, you know, looks kind of cool, you know. And then you cut it open and it looks even better. I like the dark spots in there. And I'm not seeing any fractures, so I think we're good there. The little one right there, but that's not going to be cabined to the edge. Yeah, I'm liking that. It's going to be interesting. I think this one's pretty cool here. I mean, you could already see it had a pattern on the outside. And then you cut it open and you're like, whoa, that is so cool. It's almost like a quartzite. I think that's got the pattern all the way through it, so I'm gonna have to try to make a cool looking cab out of this one. This is another one here, kind of second thoughting. Got a lot of outside stuff, which, you know, usually don't make any difference. The inside, I don't know. We'll see. Looks like I'm trying to figure out if it's, yeah, it's got a few pits, but it's kind of interesting pattern, especially up on this end here. We'll see what we can do with that. Here's the outside again. Right, this one here, I'm very hopeful that we can make a really cool looking cab out of this one. So there's the outside. It's got these nice looking cool green spots and stuff in there. And look at that. That is just gorgeous. And it looks pretty solid. I'm not seeing a lot of cracks and stuff in there, so we shall see what we can do with that. Now there's a fracture right there, but I just can't get over how you cut these. You know, you look at them on the outside, you know, it looks kind of interesting. Then you cut them open, you're like, wow, that is so cool. Let's look at these here real quick. It's kind of hard to choose sometimes which ones to cut, you know. This is that red one, and that's red. I mean, that's really red. So, then this is the one I said looked like it had mica in it. And that one there, I think it's good, would make a really good cabochon. And then this silver one here, I had it in the lineup, then I changed my mind because it looked like it had a lot of porosity in it. But now it seems pretty solid. I mean, it's the same color throughout, but I still think it'd make a cute little cabochon. So I'm going to cab these rocks here unless I have a problem with one. If I do, then I'm going to pick one of these over here. So come on back next week. It'll be episode 62, and you can see these made into cabochons. So thanks again, Amanda, for sending those in. Quite interesting, especially that last one there. I am really curious about that. So now we're going to move these out of the way, and I got Jim's rocks from Australia. I made cabochons out of them. We're going to take a look at those and do a little stare and compare on them. Okay, I moved Amanda's rocks out of the way, and now I got Jim's rocks here that he sent me from Australia, and I made some cabochons out of them. So first up was this black one right here. And I'm going to put a little liquid on there to show you that it's pretty black. Well, like I said, it made an absolutely beautiful cabochon. Beautiful shine. Not a lot of detail, as you can see. There's some stuff going on in there. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. And this one here, I was calling this a chunk of granite, but I'm not really sure. It's had a lot of cracks in it. Usually granite won't crack like this, generally. Then I thought, well, maybe it's kind of like a piece of gneiss, but I'm not really sure. And then I tried making a cab out of it a couple attempts, and it kept breaking on me with the fractures, so I went to my safe shape, which is an ellipse or an oval. And this is what I ended up with. A beautiful shine. Kind of a cool pattern, even with the little fractures and stuff in there. And I managed to get that white streak going through there. I don't know. I thought it'd come out good. Usually, I'll go to an ellipse or oval because it's a safe shape. It don't have corners or points on it. And if I have a rock that's being a little problematic, I'll do that. So there's the original rock. There's cabochon I made out of it. Right, we had this one here. I was kind of worried about it, but it was rather solid on the inside. Beautiful. I don't know, it was really pretty. And it made a really pretty cabochon. Beautiful shine, no pits, no fractures I can tell in there. Yeah, I liked it. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. All right, I had high hopes for this one here, but it's a beautiful piece of jasper, I think. It had all kinds of pits and stuff in there, and it actually made a very beautiful cabochon. It's just a lot of pits and cracks, as you can see. Nice shine. I like the pattern. But there's no way I could avoid all this stuff in there. So there's the original rock, and there is the cabochon I made out of it. And here's another one that was really pretty on the inside, but it was absolutely full of pits. They're everywhere, but the pattern is awesome on this thing. On the edge here. Okay, here's cab I made out of that one. I tried to pick around and avoid as much of that as I could. There's some druzy pockets down here, right there. Little piece of wax there. But, another one, a nice shine, really nice shine, but just lots of pits and stuff. I mean, it's a beautiful pattern. So there's the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. This one here, I called it kind of a galaxy stone, but it had little bits of jasper all through it, wherever the host rock is. And actually, it was a pretty little rock here, and it was solid. No pits in this one. So that's what kind of looked like there. Oh, here's the cabochon I made out of it. Beautiful shine. Just a little tiny bit of undercutting, but nothing that's going to take away from it. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. A lot of colors in there. So there's original rock and there's cabochon I made out of it. All right, this one here had the soft host rock and it had these cool looking veins running through here. And I used the other side because I thought it had more veins because I'm looking at this and it looks like they kind of run out over here. So I ended up making a pretty thin cab, which I really don't like to do, but it worked out okay. So there's a cabochon. Of course, had some pits in there, but it shined really good. Even the host rock, I got okay shine on it, but the quartz or whatever this stuff is shined beautifully. So that's how thin I got. It's not that I can't make thin ones, I just don't like making thin ones. And that's it. So there's the original rock and there's cabochon I made out of it. All right. This was the agate. And that is absolutely gorgeous. And I had a little dilemma here. I had a lot of stuff going on this week, so I didn't have a lot of time. I was going to take another slice out of this and try to get that pattern there. I went ahead and just worked with what I had. And here is the cabochon I made. Beautiful shine, cool pattern. It's just funny that this is so big and then it turns into that in a little over 1/4 of an inch. But I'm not complaining. This is just beautiful. So here's the original rock. And here is the cabochon I made out of it. This is the one that kind of looked like a pattern. I got a lot of recommendations in the comments. I really appreciate that. And, you know, I said it kind of looked like a sunrise there, but the only problem I had was I was trying to make trees out of this here, and that's the only way I could do it that way. So here's the cabochon I made. And then, of course, it had a fracture right there. So I don't know. I might put some super glue on that to kind of get that to disappear, then take it down to the machine and polish it again. I haven't made up my mind yet, but there's cabochon. I thought it'd come out pretty cool. Just a tiny bit of undercutting. You can see it in the black and the square right there. Not a bad shine, but that kind of right there threw me. I don't know. What do you think? You think I should fix that, or do you think I should just leave that as part of the design? Let me know in the comments down below. So there is the original rock, and there's cabochon I made out of it. Then we had this cool looking green piece right here. It was relatively soft, but then when I was working it, it's got little fortifications in it. And you can kind of see them a little bit here and there. I haven't made a halfway, well, I mean, I haven't made a decent looking cabochon. Look at that. I caught some of the dark green and the light green. And then let me see, right there. There's fortification there, fortification there. And I think there's a couple on that side. But yeah, it's not too bad for a soft stone. So there is the original rock, and there's the cabochon I made out of it. So I'm going to let Jim pick out 3 of these for himself because he took the time to send rocks all the way from Australia. And then whatever he don't pick will end up on Etsy. Probably, I'll look at them close. We might have to think about a few of these, but I mean, all in all, all good shines. I can't complain about that. And I could have probably made some better cutting choices, but you know, it is what it is sometimes. So let's flip the camera around and finish this up. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching me cut these cool rocks in half that Amanda sent from Pennsylvania. Thank you for that. And the cabochons I made out of the rocks that Jim sent all the way from Australia. I hope you enjoyed watching them. Like I said, I'm gonna let Jim pick out 3 of those, and then the rest will go on Etsy. We'll see. Might have to cull a couple of them, I'm not sure yet. Depends on what he wants. I'll get my notes back up here. So this video comes out every Wednesday, and then I got another video that comes out every Saturday where I demo how I make a cabochon from the rough rock all the way to the shiny cab. And all you viewers out there, I really appreciate it. The viewing's kind of going up a little bit, and the subscriptions are going up. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I got this cute little thing I put on the screen to kind of remind you. It's absolutely free. Just go down there, click on the subscribe button, slide over, give me a thumbs up, because that gets the analytics out there so more people can find this content. And then you can hyperlink it on your cell phone. You can share it and push the bell button to get notifications when these videos come out. And I put videos out, 2 videos every week right now. So I'm gonna put a playlist up someplace up here for this series of videos, so you don't have to go hunting around for them. And then I'll put up the video episode 60, so if you want to see Jim's rocks being cut in half, and then you can come back here and you can see the cabs. And then Amanda's rocks from Pennsylvania, you can see those cabs next week, like I said, in episode 62. So I think appreciate you watching, coming out and taking the time. That's all I got, and I'll catch you later.